Hi, Alan here. Today, in part two of our um, discussion on EDM or exact data match, we're going to be wrapping this up. We last time we built the exact data match SIT classifier, did all of that, and where we left off was pretty much the classifier created. Now, what we need to do um, is download the schema and upload that hash so that basically Purview could index that and use that SIT across all of the throughout Purview and DLP and labels and all of that in a secure manner. And so that's going to be the focus today as part two of our conversation around exact data match. Let's get to it. All right, here we are back at purview.microsoft.com. Now we're going to go back through exactly what we did in part one of the video. So in other words, we are going to not just pick up there, but we're going to go ahead and repeat that. But we're going to do this really fast by going to solutions here, information protection, and then we're going to go to down here to classifiers and EDM classifiers. Now we had that EDM classifier that was created here. That EDM classifier is now gone. So we're just going to recreate this. And I'm going to not really go through and explain a whole lot because we did this in part one of the video, but we are going to go through and just kind of redo this classifier really quick so you get how we got to where we're going next. So we're just creating that. We're going to upload our sample data, which remember we can go out and download that, or you can have it created in any number of ways. But we have this file here, and the directory I'm actually working with here is going to be under C directory EDM data, and here's our patient records demo. We're going to go here and upload this. And we've got kind of our mapping there, what's found in that file. We're going to go next here. We got full matches here. I'm only interested in patient ID. That's my primary element. And I have full matches here. Remember, that was generated because we created a custom SIT previous to that, and so it picks up this pattern. So anyway, we're going to go here. We're not going to do any custom column settings here, and the only thing I did here is I'm just going to add a low confidence, which basically now says that high confidence is patient ID if it's found in any of the documents or emails, and two of the supporting elements, so within proximity, which default is 300. Medium confidence is patient ID in any supporting element, and then low confidence just patient ID. So we're going to save this. We're going to go next here, and then we are going to submit that and save it. Now it's going to ask us, this is going to give us a schema. And we'll go ahead and copy this because the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to copy that name there, and I'm going to click done there. And now we'll see this, and it's going to tell me that my index is complete because I've done this before. Yours will, if you've done it for the first time, it's essentially going to tell you that you need to create some steps and do some steps in order to index this schema and this hash. And what it's doing is it's basically creating a secure hash of the SIT, that is the patient record, patient ID, all of that information that we want to protect. It's creating a hash so it's more efficient, it's not in plain text, etc. So it's going to index that. Mine's already done that. Yours will do that once we're done with the following steps. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go out and want to download this. We want to download this this agent, this upload agent. I've already done that. I'm going to click here and just install it. And I'm going to ask that it installs it in the directory where I have my data. And just so that's my working directory, I'm going to go next and install. And I'm saying it's here. Then we're going to see that, okay, finish that. We'll see that that installed in that directory. Okay. And so the next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to run some PowerShell commands. It gives us some PowerShell commands here. I've actually written those out with actual names. So including my directories, the actual name of the schema, etc. So first we need to do is authorized, and I'm in this directory. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to authorize. I'm going to run that command. It should give us complete. Now it's going to authenticate, and what it's authenticating is that group. Remember the group we created, that security group in part 1, and then we added myself as a member of that group. I need to be a member of that group in order to authenticate and do this command successfully. There we go. Now I'm going to run this command, and it may error on me just because I've done it before. No, it did not this time. Okay, good. So we've done that, and now we're just going to validate the schema. So it basically saved the schema. If we go here, we should see that schema created here. There we go. There's the actual XML file. So now we're just going to validate that. So I'm going to click there and just run that command. Okay, it's good. And now we're going to upload the schema. Okay, hash location here. We're uploading, and allow this bad lines percentage is allowing a certain, if you have a field in your data record, maybe that's empty, that's blank cells, I'm allowing a certain level of bad lines, if you will, so bad data. So if you're exporting from like like Dynamics or some customer data from somewhere, you know, some patient records or something, and you've got an Excel sheet, a CSV file that has some blank cells in it, for example, I'm allowing up to 5% of bad lines total. So just give you an idea what that is. So I'm just going to click this, and I am going to now run that command. And then once that is done, we ran successfully. We're going to run over here to Purview, and then and it's going to tell me the index is already complete. And so that's essentially, I'm just going to refresh this, but that's essentially it. Now we have that. We have our classifier. Once it's indexed, it's pretty much recognized across the environment. So it's re-indexing here, okay? And so once that gets to 100%, then we're completely good to go. But essentially at this point, just to save time, I can go in to DLP policy, take my new very specific SIT, that EDM classifier, and I can now go into a policy and say, for example, create a new, I'll just do custom here, but I can create a new DLP policy based on, I'm going to say EDM patient ID, we'll say EDM patient ID, DLP, whatever we want to call that, some meaningful name and description, and then I'm going to go next here. And the rest of this is going to be pretty much like creating a DLP policy for anything else. I can go in and I select where we kind of want the data to target, and then I can go in and create the rule. I can create EDM rule, whatever I want, give it a meaningful description, but the condition here is where I can go in contains sensitive info type, and now we can do EDM, and we'll see here is our patient ID SIT. That is basically an exact data match, and the rest of this is exactly like you would do any DLP policy. We've covered DLP policies in other videos, so I won't belabor that point, but that is it. And that is how we create and work with exact data match, and how we upload that, work with the schema and upload the hash so that Purview can use that, that custom EDM classifier throughout your entire Purview organization. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and thank you for watching.